evening, guys. It's Ray. It's time for the live, and you're with the late smoke. How's everyone? Okay, let me wait a few more minutes until people join. And yeah. Hello. Already someone joined. So how is my audio? How's the mic? I did some corrections since last time. Can you hear me? Is any sound noise? Is any crackling or anything like that? Ambient. It's probably my purifier. Is it bad? Or it's quite cold outside. I can't open the windows and just be without the heater. So I've got purifier and the heaters. Yes, probably my purifier. Well, sorry about that. So it's Monday. It's live. I haven't done a live last week, so it's time to catch up and do proper one. What I'm smoking today, it's Flor de Selva Robusto Maduro. It's a great Honduran cigar. I don't know if you can see it. Um, it's nothing too crazy, too special. It's just one of my regular smokes. I'm a big fan of Flor de Selva and all the cigars, most of the cigars they make. So and this one is very well made. I mean, start really nice white ash line, burn everything. So yeah, as I mentioned, there was on a show last week. I was quite busy in the last couple of weeks, um, preparing some more content for the channel. I didn't manage to film a lot in the recent stuff, so I edit and list the video with the plum and mold. I don't know if you guys saw that, and I think it's very interesting. I don't know why not much people comment on that one. I expect to be crazy waves with people like yes or no, or you're wrong, or you're right, or anything like that. So not that much. Didn't pick up that much yet. But hey, Andrew. Yeah, video is live. So tonight there's a few interesting news I want to talk about. Um, there's a few ranting sections on the end of the show as usual. So yeah, I'm ready to crack on, and let me know if you guys smoking something. If you what's your pairing tonight? For me, as usual, with the cigar, I've got a cup of tea, and yeah. So if you're ready, I know there's only a few people watching tonight. I haven't posted uh, thumbnail for this one. I haven't promoted at all. As I think, you all know we're gonna make a lives every Monday, so I think I think I just will leave it the show every Monday without posting a thumbnail. People who wants to watch, they know. La Punta. It's very nice Cuban cigar. San Cristobal. To be honest, I haven't smoked San Cristobal in ages. No alcohol. That's fair. You don't need to be alcohol. Again, I'm on a tea at the moment. I have a very few glasses with Manzanilla port during the weekend. So for me now it's a dry evening, no alcohol. Probably tomorrow I'm gonna have a dram of whiskey or something. I'm I'm planning something in the evening, but yeah. So let's crack with the news. What's happened the last couple of weeks in the cigar world? What's an interesting thing I want to talk about? Um, First thing I want to mention is unfortunately quite sad news. It was I think just last week. Um, the Sayas family announced that Jose Sayas, which is the head of Matilda Cigars and the head of the family, passed away, age 74. The guy is one of the very few living legends. Used to be one of the very few living legends in the industry. He's been over 50 years in the tobacco world, in the tobacco industry. He was head of the blending team in the Tabacalera Garcia. As you know, it's the biggest Dominican manufacturer. So they're the people behind lots of cigars like Casa de Garcia, most of the Altadis version of Monte Cristo, A. Chapman, all of those Cuban named non-Cuban cigars made in the Dominican Republic. He was he was head of the factory in some moment before he left in the 2000s, and then he created the company called Matilde, together with his family, with his son. I managed to meet his son in Dortmund a couple months ago. A lovely guy. We have a brief chat. We talk about some interesting cigars coming out from their head. Unfortunately, um, the the patron and the head of the family passed away. Um, it's a sad news, but yeah, I say it was worth mentioning because it's one of the people with more than 50 years in the tobacco industry experience, and yeah, unfortunately, I don't smoke Matilda at the moment, but I don't have any of the Matilda cigars, so I need to buy some and yeah, commemorate it properly. So yeah, we're gonna Glen Scotia. Ooh, nice one, Andrew. Which Glen Scotia is that? They have really interesting whiskies. I discovered Glen Scotia a couple of years ago, and I'm a fan, to be honest. It's one of those interesting distilleries where I don't think they have the attention that they deserve. I don't think they're not even close to what they should have. But yeah, so a few more people join. Okay, we continue with something which it's a topic with continuous topic which I discussed since probably the first episode, and I will not stop talking about it. And every time I heard or find out something new, I will carry on talking about it. And this is the all the stupid legislation from the UK government. All the proposals, all the uh, laws, ideas, whatever you can call it. So last week they came with the idea. They finally decide what they want to do. So they will definitely carry on with the generational ban, which I don't think that will fail. Most likely they will approve the generational ban. So I can only hope there this if this bill accepted and becoming a law and people start empowered, maybe will in some point in the future, maybe in a year or so, 2 years, they will drop it because it's. I don't think that will fix the problems. The other things they plan to ban all the flavored vaping, which is a good thing. I mean, they banned the flavored the flavored cigarettes many years ago. They're planning to ban the flavored cigars, which I mean I'm not a big fan of them. I understand it as a product. I don't know if it's right or wrong, but maybe it's right. If they're gonna ban the flavored tobacco, I mean probably they need to ban the cigars. all those infused cigars. They if they leave the non-infused one aside, I'm happy with it. Um, they increase the penalty fees and penalty charges if they catch you doing selling tobacco to underage, which now go up to £200, which is nothing. I have no problem with government enforce the law when it's when the law makes sense. If you say under 18, you cannot smoke under 21 or whatever. Yeah, that's fine. You implement that and charge be strict, but just making sure it makes sense. And the lasting part of that announcement was they actually planning to do plain packaging in UK. What that mean? They wanna add those stupid greenish black gray bands on every cigar, which would be only the name. Um, it's probably one of the worst scenario what we can get. So not only one thing, but like few other legislation combined in one law, and plain packaging. This is it doesn't look nice. Again, you go into a tobacco shop and all those bands are hidden by plain gray bands. I don't know how a nice colorful band attracts someone to smoke. If someone wants to go and smoke, if he enter a tobacco shop, he definitely wants to buy cigars. I don't think he matter much, especially if it's a new smoker. I don't think he care much about the band. As a personal experience, most of the people who enter in the shop and they're brand new smokers, they ask for specific brands. Maybe they someone told them they see someone, they came in the shop and they say, "Oh, do you have a Chipmunk? Do you have Cohiba?" Even if the cigar's in front of them, they ask, "Oh, do you have Cohiba?" And literally, the Cohiba is in the center display. There's plenty of Cohibas in front of him, still asking where the Cohibas. So I don't think the bands will change anything. Um, Obviously, the tobacco shops in UK cannot show tobacco products through the windows, so that's why you have all those vinyls in front of the windows, all those dimmed windows, dark with the labels, all kind of stuff. Just because none of the tobacco shops can show their cigars through the window. Um, so again, I don't get what the plain packaging will do. What maybe they will do, they will put the cost of the cigars more, because adding something to something which is already expensive will make it more expensive. I mean, I know some people would say, yeah, it's a just another band on top of it. Yeah, but someone need to put it. Someone need to add it, and I don't think that will be the manufacturer. Um, Most likely that will be the importer or the retailer, and either of those sides of the coin, um, that will cost more money. Maybe they need to hire someone extra. Imagine you're an importer who a big importer having 15, 20 brands, lots of lines, maybe 1,000 SKUs, and even if you sell a box a day from each one, it's 1,000 boxes. Someone need to stick bands on top on the other for ages. It's absolutely stupid idea. And yeah, I mean, the government doesn't usually when you propose something, you check both sides of the idea, the law. You have people who defend it, people who objected, people who are against with or whatever. But in this case, no one asked us as tobacco people, "Hey, is that actually will do something?" They think, "Oh yeah, we're gonna hide all those yellow, blue, green colors with plain packaging," but the plain packaging is still inside the shop. It's not like I'm gonna go walk outside and have literally trolley with the tobacco and cigars and start shouting cigars, 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 or whatever. It's already hidden behind windows and um, posters and stuff. How this is more attractive? People cannot see it. It's it's ridiculous, pathetic. Um, I don't know. We'll see. But I reckon all those 3 4 stuff I mentioned in the last 5 10 minutes, they will go through in the next voting, probably by the end of the year. They already raised the taxes. The cigars actually wasn't hit that bad this time, but the rolling tobacco was hit heavily in UK. People who used to, roll cigarettes with rolling tobacco, now it's almost twice more expensive. Um, Another nonsense, I usually don't like to talk about politics, but just I will mention briefly that liberal government, left government, actually hit the poor, the people who are poor, mostly, which labor, it doesn't make sense. But yeah, I'm stop talking about the politics again. Government, the idiots. Um, I will not stop repeating that because the people literally doesn't care about anything. They just wants to see whoever is majority. Oh, we're gonna suit the majority. We don't care about anything else. It's discrimination in some way, but yeah. Before we move to the next topic I have in mind, Andrew, just to tell you about the Victoriana. It's a really really nice whiskey. You says it's a great entry drum of the good price. I don't think it's an entry type drum. Um, a Victoriana is a cask strength, so it's quite heavy. I think it was around 56-57%. I don't know if you know the story behind it. It's just a side. You know me how I like to shoot to different directions, but Victoriana is actually named after the old school way of making whiskey. Victorian way of making whiskey um, with the all the distillation process and casking and everything. So that's why it's named Victoriana. But it's a phenomenal whiskey. If you guys haven't tried it, I think in UK you can pretty much find it for maybe 70 or 80 pounds. Maybe now around Black Friday will be slightly cheaper. Andrew, yeah, now I get it. It's yeah, the double cask. Double cask is a good option for entry point. I found it a little bit too weak. The double cask, there are two different double cask, rum cask and standard oak cask. But if you want to try Glen Scotia, there's a plenty of different options. Glen Scotia 15 is phenomenal drum. It's a black label bottle, a very dark and rich sherry. That's more of an entry level for me. Uh, the Victoriana is a next step. But yeah, um, moving on. There's a few interesting releases I want to mention and I want to talk about. I talk only about the releases only probably if I'm super excited, which usually I don't even talk about them. There's a few releases which I was excited this week. I'm not gonna talk about them. I'm talking only for the releases which I will probably rant a little bit. Before I go to the releases, it's really tasty cigar. I open it just slightly with a small punch, so it's a very tiny opening, and cigar is really tasty. So, moving on to the releases. There's the first release I want to talk about. It's Merafel adding a new size to their Earnest released. So, as you know, there were few releases from Rafel, all made in different companies, different factories, using quite old tobacco. And now, Ernest used to have 4 different sizes. There were Robusto, which was a chunky and huge. Um, a cigar in a usually came in a different packaging. The Corona got the Robusto Lonsdale, and now they decide to add the Lancero. So, as usual, 613 boxes, undisclosed blend, undisclosed information about everything else. Price point, I don't see it mentioned yet, but knowing the price of the Lonsdale and some of the others, this will be probably 55, 60 euro. Dollars, maybe dollars, euro will be slightly less than that, maybe 50 euro, $60, something like that. It's, as a friend of mine like to say, another cigar over $30, which I don't planning to break my spending limit and buy. But I'm gonna mention the next release because they both interesting in a way, and I can talk about both of them together. The next announced release was from Davidoff, and they're releasing their Chinese Zodiac Year of something. So next year will be Year of the Snake. As usual, interesting cigar from them. Definitely this time the Year of the Snake is 7 by 43. I say it's interesting and close related to the Merafel because pretty much it's slightly fatter Lancero. Lonsdale, if you want to call it, is a slim Lonsdale, or maybe Dahlia, the Cuban side Dahlia, something like that. But again, Davidoff came with a weird size, so this will be the standard release box. Also, they will add a couple other sizes. They will add the flagship Toro, which is 6 by 52, and they will add the masterpiece Toro, part of the big humidor, which is 6 by 56. But the 7 by 43 will be the standard release, which we'll see in most of the shops. Release price $62. As usual, Davidoff. I don't see Davidoff releasing anything cheaper at all. Yes, this year we saw they released the late hour Winston Churchill late hour Petit Panatella, but that's a super small cigar for like $10-12. I know they're gonna release Petit Bellicoso soon next year in a tins, Winston Churchill. But regarding to the release we just mentioned, the Lancero, I mean, so two, I would say premium cigars, Merafel Ernest Lancero, Davidoff here the Snake Lancero, high-end, premium, expensive, both similar sizes, so maybe the 2025 will be the year of the Lanceros. Even Steve Saka released a box of Lanceros just now. I don't think I've seen that many announcements for that many Lanceros since ages ago. I also a few other brands mentioning they will release a Lanceros, but yeah, I'm happy they released a Lancero. I'm not happy with the prices. Maybe some people will say, oh, this guy just ranting about the price. Yeah, because I mean, my point is as a consumer. Why do we need to release 50, 60, 70 dollars, pounds, euro Lanceros? It's a slim cigar. It's not much of a tobacco in there. So what will be the story now? Oh, look, we have 26 years old tobacco in there. We have 50 years old tobacco in there. I spoke with a few interesting people in the last couple of weeks from the industry, and we also talk a little bit about the aging tobacco, the benefits of having 20 years old tobacco, 15 years old tobacco, 100 years old tobacco, whatever the number will be. all of those people, they're in the industry, they are way more experienced than me, they make cigars. They mention they don't see the benefits of aging tobacco. I mean, long-term aging. We're not talking about cigars. We're talking about aging tobacco in the farms, in the factories. Everyone who decide to age tobacco in the factories and say, "Oh, I'm going to release this tobacco in 2030 or in 2035, so in 5 years, in 10 years." Everyone who think he will release this type of tobacco, he probably talk like that just to create the hype. Oh, look, we have this aged tobacco, worth twice as much or 3 times as much. Yes, of course, you will learn more than what is it, but the tobacco, if you're a good manufacturer, if you know what you're doing with the cigars and the tobacco, your tobacco should be ready at the moment when leave the fermentation process. So you pick the tobacco, you dry the tobacco, you start fermenting the tobacco. Some manufacturers do single fermentation, double fermentation, triple fermentation, whatever. It takes them 2, 3, 4, 5 years. I've heard for some tobacco which need 3 or 4 years to ferment. Okay, and at the end of the day, you ferment the tobacco. You says, okay, this tobacco is fermented, it's ready to go. So this is, in my opinion, where the tobacco is in its best. Not only mine. I mean, I ask people as well what they're thinking. They are pretty much on the same thinking as me. So this is the prime of the tobacco. The prime moment where the tobacco is in its best taste, its best flavors, its best aromas, best strength, everything. The moment when he leaves the fermentation. And if you start aging tobacco, first, you're going to lose some of those qualities. If it's a darker, stronger tobacco, type tobacco, higher primings, probably losing strength. Most likely losing some of the flavors. Also, the longer you keep it in the bales, in your warehouses, the longer there's a chance something to happen. There's a risks of, I mean, so many. Fire, insects, bugs, all kind of stuff. So the more you age the tobacco, the more risking when you open the bale, there will be something not right. And I get it if you want to keep your inventory. You say, okay, I produce more tobacco in case I cannot find this tobacco. Yes, of course, you need to have plan B, but don't came after that with the idea. Oh, look, this is 22 years old tobacco. This is, 17 years old tobacco. Maybe some people will be attracted with these numbers. Others probably no. I'm not. Also, I ask, someone asked me, and then I start asking myself, who regulate those years? Who regulate and verify the age of the tobacco? When somebody announces X numbers, X years of number of age of the tobacco, is there any regulation who says, oh, yes, we can verify, we can verify this is X years old tobacco? No. I mean, there's literally no one controlling that. Oh, it's a tobacco with that age. With the whiskey, there's a people which control that one. With the rum, same thing. There's with most of the alcohol, even with the tea. If you go to the aged and vintage tea, especially Chinese tea, it's even stricter than the whiskey. There's a stamps, there's a stuff like that. In the tobacco, there's not much of a guarantee. Even if somebody say, oh, this is like whatever year's tobacco, you just believe it. And I know sometimes, most of the time, the age doesn't sell the cigar, but if you don't sell the cigar because of the age, why you just saying it? You just say, oh, this is our new cigar. We have this wrapper, that binder, that filler. and that's it. Don't say, oh, combined age of the cigars is X years. What's the point? And for me, sounds very gimmick, honestly. When I hear another brand, and yeah, maybe I talk predominantly about Davidoff, they announcing those stuff, but there's not only Davidoff, there's a bunch of other companies start announcing, oh, the wrapper is 7 years old. Whatever is like 4 years old. Yes. I don't want that. I want fresh tobacco. I want tobacco which is just fermented, not fresh as a fresher from the field, but I want tobacco which been fermented, rolled, set to aside for a few months, and ready to go. Yeah, I mean, Sotiri says a good charge your arm and a leg. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I mean, they most of the stuff is just to charge you more money, and because if you sometimes when you ask a company, oh, why your cigar is like twice expensive than the other cigar, this cigar is made in the same country where your cigar is made. Why you're using same tobacco? Why is yours twice more expensive? Oh, because it's like 7 years old or 11 years old, and maybe most of the people will be like, oh, yeah, actually makes sense. All the cigars cost more money, etc., etc. But who control that? Yeah, as Andrew mentioned, there's the Scotch whiskey. Of course, um, if people don't know how's the regulation of the Scotch whiskey, let's say brand X decide to release a new line, new whiskey, and says 8 years old, 8 years on the bottle. Most likely, the whiskey is all kind of different age inside. Very rarely will be 1 year single year whiskey, unless it's a single cask, which is way more expensive. But if it's not a single cask, most likely it's a blended whiskey from a different cask from the same whiskey, same distillery. And by the law, they need to put on the bottle the youngest age whiskey they blend inside. So if you have like whiskey from 8 years, 9 years, 12 years, 16, 17, 23, 50, even if you have 20, let's say you have full cask with 50 years old whiskey, and you add 1 teaspoon with 10 years old whiskey inside, that straight away becomes 10 years old whiskey, not 50. It's so strict, the government, the Scottish government, regulating the whiskey is so strict. So you always put the lowest age on the whiskey in the bottle. So if you have 8 years on the bottle, most likely the whiskey is more than 8, 9, 10, 12, 11, maybe a little bit of 8, and that's why they put 8. I mean, with the Cubans, Sotiris, you're making a good point. I knew someone will ask about the Cubans. That's why I didn't mention anything about the Cubans so far. The Cubans, I am agree to disagree. If you buy a box of Cuban cigars now, most of the time you might need to age them a little bit. You open the box, smell it, smell ammonia, definitely age them. You don't pick ammonia, I would say smoke it. Don't age them. I realized in the last few years, obviously I'm selling Cuban cigars in the shop, but I've seen most of the new boxes with cigars coming from Cuba, obviously from hunters, from Habanos, they're at least 1 year old. Very rarely they're like 6 months, 7 months, even less than that. I mean, they wait for a year, maybe the cigars being. I'm talking about the box coat. So the box coat, the 24 box coat, it's still not very common. Still, we're working on with 23 box coats. So that's mean the cigars been rolled 23. They've been kept somewhere. My guess is they've been kept with the importers, with the local importers. It could be Hunters, it could be Phoenicia, it could be Kaliman, depending which country. They've been kept with local importers, maybe for additional 6 to 8 months, and then they release them, so they have less chances people to be not happy with it. But with the every cigar which is made and ready to go should be perfect to be smoked now. If if you buy cigars with the idea, oh, those are not ready. I mean, I don't know much other products where you buy them and you keep them for years because they're not ready. I mean, you buy wine, maybe some of the wine will age nice, but it's all made to be drink now. You buy whiskey, I don't think the whiskey will get any better anywhere in the future. Um, Everything you buy it, consume it now. Only the Cuban cigars you buy them with the idea to smoke them in 3 or 4 years. I don't think this is right. That's why I stopped buying Cuban cigars for myself. New one, I just maybe if I want to buy one, yeah, I'll buy one and smoke boxes. No, I'll go to the shop, buy a Cuban cigar, smoke a Cuban cigar. Um, yeah, I mean, Sotiris is you mentioned in some of the European countries, Greece, Andorra, Germany. Yeah, I mean, 6 months. That's maybe up to the local importer. Our importer, I think, is pretty good. Do a pretty decent job and do not rush the cigars. They keep them a little bit longer, and the consumers are happy with that. Also, I don't remember recently to have a box which smell of ammonia. I keep opening boxes to check, put on display, sell to customers. I inspect also every box coming in the shop, um, and I don't remember having a box when I open it and it have that massive ammonia coming out of it. I mean, I will show again that this is a phenomenal ash, honestly. Um, but yeah, it's with the Cuban cigars is I don't want to jump in there too much, but I just said what I want to say. Um, my rant of the evening was basically um, why some of those companies keep releasing expensive cigars and mentioning some weird agings of the tobacco and stuff. Is he all gimmick? Is it just a marketing trick? Most likely. Um, one other thing I want to talk about this time is very interesting and very fun. Something I haven't seen, or at least I don't remember anyone doing before. Very interesting announcement from Dumbarton and Steve Saka. So I've actually watched the video when he announced it and the post as well. Um, he he's a guy who released a lot of new cigars recently. I mean, even the Lanceros I mentioned, the box of the Lanceros, all kind of new sizes, discontinued. We keep mentioning him all the time. He blend phenomenal cigars. In my opinion, the cigars most of the time made by Juez Nicaragua. But this time he announced a release, which will be in the way of all those hyped and trendy year of something. But he says he doesn't believe in the Chinese zodiac. He doesn't follow Chinese zodiac. He doesn't follow any of those hyped around it. So his year of something will be uh, released to commemorate one of his actually good customers, and also becoming friend after that. And this is a gentleman from Hawaii, which I've spoken briefly a few times on different platforms, called Chris Dick. I don't know if I can pronounce his surname right, but it is because this guy was always on the trade shows, helping me with a lot of stuff, even being helping him on the booths and support the brand. And he decided to release next year to be called Year of the Dick, and we will release a special cigars only having his name, a new blend, um, 5 by 48 size, very nice size. You know, it's effectively a slim robusto, or I don't know if you can call it Corona Gorda. It's just 5 inch, so 5 and 48 parejo. 2,000 boxes with 14 cigars. So it's not 50 boxes, it's 2,000 boxes. So in total, 28,000 cigars. But how cool is it? Someone who does not work for the company, it's not just because he's someone who died or anything, you know, commemorate a person or whatever. It's just a friend and a fan of the company who support them a lot. I've seen him keep posting all the time in the Barton group in Facebook, in a few different platforms. And now the brand decide to make the gesture and create something which having his name, even if he's not related to him in a way of he working for the company or whatever. So when I read about it, I was like, this is super cool. You don't see stuff like that often. You don't chase, because when you start that kind of trend with the year of all the Chinese zodiacs, we all know next year there will be a new release from whatever brand. You know, there are plenty of those brands doing a Chinese zodiac cigars. It's we just mentioned Davidoff, Gurkha, Flor de Selva. They also do that one. El Septimo, plenty of other brands. They start playing with the year of something. Vega Fina as well, and now with the Saka, he released something without having any marketing there, and this is 2,000 boxes. So now those 2,000 boxes, I guess, like everything Saka releasing, they will be sold out. But it will be interesting. And he also said next year he will release for some other fan something. So um, it's not too late, guys, to become a super fans of some Dumbarton. Support them, and maybe in a year or so, you might have a cigar named after you. So cool. So how's everyone who smoke? I've seen like 7 people at the moment. Is anyone else smoking, drinking? Um, those are the most interesting news I want to talk about. Obviously, there's a bunch of other. Here of Ray. It's not gonna happen. So it's. I'm not committed that much to one brand. That's the thing with me. I'm already too late for that kind of stuff. I decide choose my way of smoking cigars to be try to smoke as many as I can, different stuff. Give you a feedback. Be the guy who people can ask and what do you think about this one or that one. I knew the ash will fall. That's why I have my ashtray here. um, but yeah, next week will be same time as usual. I have a few ideas. Maybe if I have the time to prepare a little bit of topic, I will probably prepare more, not only the news. Again, I just mentioned this week was very busy for me with some other stuff, and I didn't have time to think of some proper topic. But yeah, next week will be pretty much in the same time, 8 o'clock, 8 p.m. Same place. We're gonna talk about the news and some other stuff, and in the meantime, if you just watch what I already posted, I'll try to do something this weekend I might have a few spare minutes where I can record something and I can talk about some other topic. And yeah, guys, you didn't text me. What do you think about the Plum and Malt? Did you watch it? If you're not, please. It's a very interesting, especially the last 10 minutes of the episode. That's where I talk with some of the interesting people I know and ask their opinion. So yeah, if you guys wants to add anything, now is the moment. Because yeah, if you don't have anything to ask me, add probably will end the stream in the next minute or so. It's a great cigar. Probably smoke for another. I've been smoking this cigar for an hour, and it's less than a half smoked. So this is so good money for the value. Value for the money. It's a robusto. I think it's around £20 in UK, and will last you easily hour and a half, even more than that. Nice construction, perfect construction. Tastes really nice, not crazy strong. I'm smoking Flor de Selva Maduro Robusto. So Maya Selva, the company from Honduras. I just peeled the band off. It's Flor de Selva Maduro Robusto. Um, yeah, Tim, Plum and Mole video was excellent. I mean, I'm glad you like it. I've collected some of those informations for years. Every time I have on the show and talk with someone and I can ask the question or maybe uh, go around the Plum mode, it's yeah, collect the information for ages. I want to make something like that sooner rather than later. Have it in the channel, see how it will perform. The video with the bugs is actually performing well better. The Plum of the Malt, I don't know. People just maybe didn't search that much as I expect. But who knows? And yeah, thanks for the feedback, guys. I will see you next week. Definitely will be here. Another episode of the Late Smoke. And just smoke your cigars, guys, because tomorrow is never given.